You're listening to episode 14 of the Wheeler's Dog Podcast. Hey folks, how's it going? Hope you're okay wherever you're at, wherever you're listening. I hope everything is groovy. You're staying safe. You're staying home. I don't understand it with all the things going on that people just still want to get out. You know, they just want to keep spreading whatever disease they possibly can just so they can get out. Just stay at home, watch some TV, get to those at-home projects you've been putting off. God knows my wife is pushing me to do them, which I'm not doing very well at because, well, I'll be honest with you, I'm lazy. Plus, I've got my very important scientific research into the music of AC/DC. So, that's an excuse. But anyway, folks, I hope everybody's healthy. Now, here in the Big House area, we have been socially gathering, but very distantly. We keep our distance. I don't know if you heard that, but that was my phone alerting me to a Snapchat. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that joker off so it doesn't bother me or us. You know, our time together is very important. At least it is to me, because it allows me to exorcise some demons. And like I was saying, that like Bait and Bobby, we get together at their place. We stay outdoors. We don't go into each other's homes. And we're very conscious of what we're doing. Like, we have hand sanitizer everywhere. We're using wipes. And then we stay about 10 to 15 feet apart. Just kind of hang out, listen to music. None of us are showing any symptoms whatsoever of anything. But we're acting as if we're infected. And that's what everybody should do. And so Bait has turned to an old form of video games for entertainment. I did not know this. I wasn't aware. But Bait and Bobby have a Wii, a Nintendo Wii. We have one as well. Lots of different games. As a matter of fact, on my to-do list today is to hook that joker up because, well, we've gotten addicted to the Wii bowling. And there's also a Wii Resort, which has 100-pin bowling. And that was fun. That's what we did the other night. And the biggest problem for me was trying to find a controller. I knew where the machine was. And so when I unhooked it from when we moved from King back in 2016, I unhooked it all, but I didn't place the controllers in the same bag with the actual machine. All the games, I know exactly where they're at. They're stacked up in the game room. But I could not find the controller. I was turning everything upside down. And then finally I found it in where we used to put the controllers in King. It was like this wooden storage box that my wife had and kind of sat next to the fireplace, the hearth there. And lo and behold, there was one. I could find the two paddle controllers, or like the boxing controllers. They had like an additional thing that you hook into the handset. I could find the cases that slipped over the handsets, but I couldn't find the other handset. I have no idea where that joker is. Eventually it'll turn up. It's probably with the Mustang key that we can't seem to find, although we did find the spare, but that was a bit of a problem. And then when I opened up the battery compartment, because it felt kind of weighty, and I was like, I guess we didn't take out the batteries. And nope, we didn't. It was all corroded, and you got to clean that out. That's always fun. So I got like a tiny little screwdriver, chiseled that stuff out, and got a, I hate to say it, but a disinfecting wipe. I had to waste one to clean off the corrosion. I did pretty good. Put a new set of batteries in there. Boom. Working just like it always did. I also found my old Super NES and the original 8-bit Nintendo. And I'm thinking, wow, I should hook those jokers up. Some of my favorite games on the original Nintendo, and I'm talking about the 8-bit, the first one that came out that really took things by storm. Super Mario 1 through 3. Fantastic series of games. Bill Elliott's NASCAR Challenge. I'd play that, This is the closest thing you could get to racing at the time. You look at it now if you're on YouTube, it looks pathetic. Blades of Steel was a hockey game I enjoyed quite a bit, and they'd fight. That was the fun part. Tecmo Bowl. That was always fun. I liked playing the coach mode the best, because you could just kind of, let the players do their thing. You didn't have to worry about it. Nintendo Golf, like Super Mario Golf. Man, I got really good at that on the Wii. And the original 8-bit. Then there was the game based on, I think it was Jaws 4. It was simply called Jaws. And what it was a shark game. You took on like deadly other sea creatures, crabs, like that, or crabs gave you power. I can't remember how it was, but that was always interesting. And then you'd face the shark. I never could beat the damn shark. The shark always got me. Oh, it was a tough game. Othello was one of my favorite games on just about anything. I love Othello. Tetris, of course, on the original and the Game Boy. I had that one. I had a Game Boy, the old school green screen Game Boy. The big fat tablet kind of thing. It kind of looked like a book, but it was white with a green screen. And Monopoly. Man, the 8-bit Monopoly was the best one, in my opinion. Best one. And I also enjoyed it for the Game Boy. But the thing is, you can only play 3 computer players on that one. So that one kind of got under my nerves. Or on my nerves, I should say. But I got the Monopoly for the Wii, and it just wasn't the same. So I've got that somewhere around here. And then one of the worst damn games I'd ever played. It's a racing game, and it was for the original 8-bit Nintendo. Days of Thunder. Yes, based on the film. So it was a cold trickle racing game. God, I hated that game. It was so frustrating. Your tires start to wear away as soon as you get on the track. You're if you beat up with another car, you got damage on that, and that damages your tires further. But the most aggravating thing were the pit stops. Oh, God. You had to control each person. I'd be in the pits for like 2 minutes. So there was really no way to win this damn game. And it was just, it was the worst racing game ever. I'm sure there's something on YouTube about it. If you want to see what I'm talking about. Days of Thunder, it was impossible to even win a race. It was for me. I'm sure somebody else got into it, but my Game Boy, I had the game systems. I kept them, obviously. I still have my PlayStation somewhere, the original PlayStation, and that's the last game system that I ever bought, was the PlayStation 1. I just gave up video games. And my Game Boy lasted for a long time. I had lots of games for it. And when it died, a little of me died too.
3 guys sitting around talking about being a dad while drinking a beer. The Beer Dads podcast is available everywhere you find podcasts and at tldpodnetwork.com. We talk about daddy issues, but in a good way.
Again, going back to the story about the Wii bowling over at Bait and Bobby's, Linda was there with us, and I'm talking about the Mill. She was there hanging with us, and at first she didn't want to play the video game, but then she reluctantly got in there. Big mistake on my part for encouraging her to get into it, because I was the one saddled with teaching her how to Wii bowl. Yeah, great. Not a wise move on my part, but first of all, she was like holding it with 2 hands. And I was like, no. I said, just hold it like this. Just kind of cradle it with your middle finger to your pinky. With those 3 fingers, just kind of cradle it. Your index finger fits on that trigger. The A button That's with your thumb. What A button? The A button. It says A right there. And of course I can tell she's holding it away from her face because she won't wear her bifocals because, she doesn't need them. So then she manages to see the A button. So I said, okay, well, it's time to bowl. Here's what you want to do. You see the screen? It tells you to hit the A button. And then you're ready. And then when you are ready, hold the controller towards the TV. Press the trigger button. Swing back. Swing forward. Release the trigger button. And that releases the ball. So she hits the A button, holds the A button, and keeps trying to swing and do, to bowl. And of course it goes right back to the screen to where she's doing something wrong. It resets the screen. And I said, Linda, no. Tap the A button. Hold the controller up. Press in the trigger with your index finger. And she's still trying to do this with both hands. I'm like, no, just the one hand. Tap the A button. Hold the controller up. And this went on for I don't know how many minutes. But I did have a couple of shots. Thank you very much, Bait. That helped me get through it without, getting very angry. Hell, even just talking about it, I'm whipping my hand through my hair because, she's like, I know. I was like, Linda, you don't know because you're not doing it right. The instructions are right there on the screen. I'm trying to tell you how to do it. And so I think it took about 6 minutes for her to finally get the first ball down there. So, yeah, I was trying not to lose patience. And eventually she got the hang of it. It wasn't very pretty, but she got the hang of it. And whenever she managed to roll a strike or even a spare, she would just go crazy. Just hopping up and down, pretending like she'd won, $10 million in the lottery or something. It was interesting.
Love. It can be just awful. When you want to get away from that former soulmate, murder shouldn't be at the forefront of your mind. Hi, I'm Dr. Phil B. Boring, and I created Disharmony.com to help others get away from that spouse or lover and find true happiness.
I would hope that each and every time she went to the store that she would never come back, but damn, she kept coming back.
Have you served papers and they just don't get the hint? Go to Disharmony.com, take our quiz, and see if we can help you find a legal way back to your own life again and find the peace and happiness that you thought you could never replace.
I got sick of the honor and cherish. My husband was taking it way too seriously.
Statistics don't lie. Why not join the millions of legally divorced people and find out what true happiness can be? Solitude. Why wait for death do us part? Disharmony.com will help you get those papers signed.
And I don't know if you heard about this, but the world of NASCAR has been doing a little iRacing, and what that is, it's on simulators. And it's been very entertaining to watch as a spectator. I mean, there's no more races on Sunday, so it's very entertaining to watch these guys do that. And it's great to see some of the drivers that are in the series, the real series, that don't, they're not in good equipment. It's kind of nice to see how well they can do when they're matched against everybody else. They set their own cars up as if they were setting cars up. It's like an actual simulator, like actually racing a car, setting the car up, doing all that. The only thing they don't do, like Days of Thunder Nintendo game, they don't have to control each pit crew member, it just sort of does it for them. But one of the things that they were talking about this past week was the Wood Brothers Racing. That's the 21 car of Matt DiBenedetto. Well, they donated a lot of tablets and computers to nursing homes around in their area. And that's, it's outside of Martinsville. I forget where it's at. I want to say it's no, it's not that. But anyway, it's someplace in Virginia where they have their shop. Stewart, Virginia. There we go. Well, they donated the tablets and computers to nursing homes, so the residents there can Skype with, their relatives, their loved ones, their friends, family, all that stuff. And, those people working at those retirement homes, I really feel bad for them. I mean, their job is essential. And I feel bad about that because not only are they risking their health to get out and about and take care of these people, but now imagine the risk to their mental health, teaching those oldsters how to Skype, how to FaceTime, how to Zoom, how to do it all. That's got to be driving people up the wall, just like I dealt with the mill over the weekend with a Wii game. It's got to be driving them crazy. I can see it now. Somebody gets on the horn with their grandmother and she doesn't know what she's doing or how to position the tablet. And then so the grandchild on the other end says to her, "That's your crotch, Grandma. How come the home doesn't allow you to wear underwear?" Yeah, that's a realistic kind of thing we got to expect that's going on. Because, again, no offense to a lot of older people, but, I think there's a certain age where people just stop. Checking out technology is right around 50s, 60s. I don't know. It's funny that I work with a radio station, WTOB, and I'm always picking on Richard Miller because, he knows like every song, even the obscure songs from the 50s and 60s. And the guy's probably maybe a couple of years older than I am. But according to him, nothing good has come out since like 1980. Yeah. I don't understand that mindset because I never want to get in there because to me, you got to think of life and technology and even music. You got to think of yourself to be like a shark because you stop swimming, you die. And I just don't want to do that. I'm still checking out top 40 music to this day. I'm still checking out new albums, even by artists I never heard of. Because, I want to stay current. I want to stay hip. But, some of the oldsters, man, they just, they get to a point where they just, I don't need it. Don't understand it. I'm deathly afraid of it. I'm not investigating that at all. But there is still some things out there that are difficult to teach some of the older folks. Like, walking. Yeah, that's difficult. Dungeons and Dragons, I've tried to teach some old people that. They no. Dry kissing, that's another thing. Yeah, for some reason, older people are really wet with their smooches. Try to teach somebody like, Richard, the importance of rap and hip-hop music. He has no interest in that. The Office TV series, yeah. You got to spend more time explaining it during the episode. There's really no point trying to get these people to watch that TV series. Also trying to teach the oldsters why you shouldn't let kids drink alcohol. That's another problem that I've experienced with a lot of older people. Also, something I have to constantly explain is the popularity of Jack Black. They just don't understand him. Yeah. And I remember it was the same problem with Jim Carrey back in the 80s or 90s. I think it was 90s. A lot of older people had a problem with Jim Carrey. I had a problem with him, but that was of a whole different nature. I just don't like him. The only movie I liked from him was Cable Guy. That was fairly interesting. I don't know. I can't get into people like him and Martin Short and Robin Williams and, oh gosh, who are some of the real goofy? Dana Carvey is another person that gets on my nerves. Just can't stand him. And one of the other things that are difficult to teach the older folks, double penetration. That's it. And My wife told me to leave that one off.
Brauman. The name says it all. Brauman. The finest in microscopes. Celebrated Canadian scientist Andre Grunion had this to say about Brauman microscopes.
Whether I'm at the lab or I'm about the house, Brauman is my choice of microscope.
Adult film star Ellen Rumpers, known for such hits as Convicted, Hardcore Ellen, and Mount St. Ellen, had this to say about Brauman microscopes.
I so love Brauman. They're sleek, they're sexy, and they make small things look even bigger. And girls, they even come in black.
If you want to see things up close, then Brauman should be your only choice.
Hi, this is Tim Beeman, bass player for Busted Uncle. When I'm tired of getting headaches from squinting, or just to see things more clearly, I always buy Brauman microscopes. Brauman, they're just cool.
Brauman, trusted. Brauman, macho. Brauman microscopes.
And now we're back to my AC/DC research update. Some of the latest findings with AC/DC and their crash cymbal intensive music. We're going to cover the Let There Be Rock album, and if time permitting, maybe Power Age, or whatever you want to call it. Power Age. Let There Be Rock, the first song, Go Down, 331 seconds. 79 crashes in this song. That is a crash every 4.2 seconds for a 14.3 crash per minute. Dog Eat Dog, Eat Cat 2. 215 seconds, 58 crashes in that song. That's a crash every 3.7 seconds for a total of 16.2 crashes per minute. The title track, Let There Be Rock, 114 total crashes on that one. The end gets kind of crazy. So again, I just sort of counted the beats per measure and figured on they're just doubling up, the beats. So if it's 8 beats per measure, then it was 16 crashes. That's how I figured that out. Because it's very difficult unless you put this thing on software like Audacity here and actually see the crashes and count them that way. Came up with 114 total crashes. Again, Let There Be Right title track. That's a crash every 3.2 seconds for 18.8 crashes per minute. Moving on to Bad Boy Boogie for 268 seconds long. 67 crashes. That's a crash every 4 seconds with 15 crashes per minute. Problem Child. Yes, it's a repeat of a song from a previous album. What album was Problem Child on? It was on the Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. Now here's the deal. The one on Let There Be Rock was 5 minutes, 25 seconds long. The one on Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap is 5 minutes, 46 seconds long. So, this one is 21 seconds shorter, but Problem Child has 222 crashes. That's a crash every 1.5 seconds for a total of 40 crashes per minute. Now, I went back and I checked the math to see how it worked out, and sure enough, Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap came out with a crash average, or a crash every 1.5 seconds for 40 crashes per minute. So, I'm on. My count is correct. So even though it came out shorter time, 21 seconds, they cut a couple of measures out of there, it still came out with the same crash average crash per minute. So, I know I'm on the right track, doing the Lord's work here. This scientific project on AC/DC. The next song, Overdose, 369 seconds long, 94 crashes. That's a crash every 3.9 seconds with a 15.4 crash per minute. Hell Ain't a Bad Place to Be, one of my favorite AC/DC tunes right there. It's not about the actual hell, it's about the hell a woman may put you through. It's 254 seconds long and 108 crashes. Yes, my mother was like, what is he saying? Hell ain't a bad place to be. Honey, that's the worst place anybody could end up. So, yes, I'm like, Mom, that's not what the song's about. So anyway, that comes out to a crash every 2.4 seconds for 25 crashes per minute. Then the last track on there, Whole Lotta Rosie, an AC/DC staple to this day in concert. 334 seconds long with 131 crashes. That is a crash every 2.5 seconds for a crash total of 24 crashes per minute. The whole album, 2,462 seconds long. 873 crashes on Let There Be Rock. That comes out to a crash every 2.8 seconds on the album, and that is a 21.4 crash per minute on that album. So it's a little bit slower than Dirty Deeds, Done Dirt Cheap, and let's see, much slower than High Voltage, and slower. So far, that one's the slowest crash per average AC/DC album. And I did some research. I looked up the tour dates that I actually saw AC/DC. Saw them on the Highway to Hell tour, October 3rd, 1979. That was with Bon Scott, and it was a great show. I remember Rose Tattoo and the Scorpions opening for that show. Then the Fly on the Wall tour. It turns out that I missed them on Back in Black, and hey, apparently I didn't see them on the For Those About to Rock tour. I remember the Cannons from the Fly on the Wall tour, which I was the second row. That happened in November of 1985. The Blow Up Your Video tour. That was August 27th, 1988. The Razor's Edge tour. I saw them on February 17th, 1991. And then the Ball Breaker. That was the last show I saw AC/DC, and that happened January 12th, 1996, and their world tour for Ball Breaker was kicked off right there at the Greensboro Coliseum. How cool is that, huh? But I thought I'd share that information with you. Next week I'll have your findings for Power Age. Looks like I'm getting close to running out of time because, well, we got a phone call from Damien.
Hey, Eugene, it's Damien. Just calling to say I really liked the last podcast. Get that AC/DC research in the Hall of Fame, man. You never know. Number 2, really enjoyed those condiment taste tests. One note, though, my family have always been Miracle Whip people. And yeah, I know, it's not really male, blah, 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 whole thing. People get really weird about that. But anyway, I really enjoyed those. I'd like to see some more. How about yellow mustard and barbecue sauce? And in case you're interested, I'm Team Plotchmans and Team Bullseye. Take care, Eugene. Keep up the good work. Talk to you later. Take care. Bye.
Thanks, Damien, for your phone call there on the Wheeler's Dog Speak Line, 336-422-6006. Call in, questions, comments, opinions. It does not matter. You know, maybe if you want to sing a little show tune, by all means do it, but less than 30 seconds, please. Because we do have, copyright issues as podcasters. And Damien, it's been funny that you say that, because we are actually looking into doing a mustard taste test, a turtle taste test, and also a barbecue sauce, and we've got some other kind of condiments planned as well. And I also want to thank Tim Beeman and the TLD Network, the podcast network. Tim gets all ready to go on the servers, so everybody gets it on the wherever they get podcasts. Also, he's nice enough to turn it into an MP4, so I can put it on YouTube, so you can hear the podcast on YouTube. So if you want to turn somebody else onto it, and they don't know anything about podcasting, you can easily suggest YouTube to get it. Again, Spotify is probably the best way. Everybody in the world seems to have Spotify. Then there's Stitcher. It's a cool app. And you can still get them on patreon.com/WheelersDog. Again, I've stopped doing the bonus episodes, but, hopefully we will all work through this pandemic and we will get back to business as usual. But I'm just trying to keep you guys entertained with some of my annoying observations and opinions. But I do appreciate you listening. And again, feel free to give a call, 336-422-6006, there on the Wheeler's Dog Speak line. And folks, with that, stay safe. And I will be talking to you next Tuesday, because that's what I'm going to do. I'm trying to keep an adherence to this so I don't bug the crap out of Tim. I'm going to try to put these out every Tuesday and every Friday. So look out for these every Tuesday, every Friday. And folks, we'll talk at you later. That's your crotch, Grandma.